Hey guys, welcome once again to the Raj Kaul podcast of Where Have I Been? First, before I introduce the guest, I've been a bit unwell. So it's been a few weeks since we picked up the podcast again. So this is 21st podcast of 2025, and I've got an amazing guest, an amazing guy who's always supported me in my music as well. So Dipps, over to you, bro. How you doing?
I'm all right, man. How you doing? Hope you're feeling better.
Yeah, getting better, man. But you know?
What can you do, man? When the bugs start flying and they catch onto you, that's it. It's
Yeah,
fine. Take a little mini break. It's all right.
Yeah, I think it was more to do with like because as you were saying before this, because of COVID, we haven't had the flu properly.
Yeah.
And now we've had it. Gosh, man,
It's hitting hard. Hitting hard.
I'm sorry, I didn't see, man. My wife took me to the GPs. So this is off. The wife took me to GP because I was that bad. GP called an ambulance, low blood pressure and stuff.
Oh,
so yeah, so
well, having said that, you're looking good. So I don't know, maybe it helped detox and clear out.
And there's no Christmas.
That's the best way to lose weight. Yeah, the best way to lose weight is a good bamari.
Exactly, yeah. And before that, my little one was Bhamrah as well, so we didn't actually celebrate Christmas properly or anything.
Okay.
So it's been a bit of a mad one. Anyway, so how are you?
All good, man. Hanging on in there. That's my response to everyone for that question. Yeah, hanging on in there. I think in the day and age we live in, there's so many people worse off. So when you compare your lives to them, yeah, man, we're blessed, and yeah, it's all good. Can't overly complain. And even if I didn't, that makes no difference.
Yeah, that's what me and my wife were saying. Like, at least, kids are healthy, we're healthy, despite everything that's gone on the past few weeks for us as well, despite everything, and especially what's going on in the world these days. But
That's it. That's it.
Anyway, let's talk about you. I know a bit about you, Apna Sangeet, the son of the famous Apna Sangeet singer. So, just tell me a bit about your childhood before we start into the music and stuff. What was it like growing up amongst Apna Sangeet?
Look, man, it was an odd childhood upbringing, because not only was I kind of like at the start of this whole Bhangra thing, because my whole life revolves around Bhangra music, and it's just unavoidable. Whether my dad was a singer or not, it would have revolved around Bhangra music as a fan, which I still am to this day. So growing up as a kid, it was always music, always listening to music. It got to a point where, and it's still the case today, that I couldn't go to sleep without music. That my mum would have to put on either Shabad or Kirtan or Laps Babye, like, or Jagwala Milla by Hida. Like, I couldn't, there was no way I could fall asleep without music. And it's always been, even now, my missus gets vexed because I go to sleep with my headphones on. And yeah, so that was basically the beginning. It was always music. And then when you're of an age when you start to understand things like that, oh my God, so my dad's doing this stuff as well. It was, I can't lie, it was brilliant. It was amazing to see that. And then to be witness to the rise of Bhangra music in the 80s. Obviously, it was around in the 60s and the 70s, and we've got some of the OGs of that era. But what happened in the 80s was it just took a completely different dimension, and to have my dad be a part of that, yeah, man, it was cool. And yeah, it was good. Like, literally, it's just being at the beginning of this Bhangra revolution, and experiencing it real time was amazing as a kid.
Hi guys, this is Raj Kaul. Thanks so much for listening to the podcast. If you want to support the rest of my music, if you could go and check me out on Spotify, on Apple Music, and add my songs to your playlist if you like them. Thank you.
So I could relate to a lot of that as well because I don't know whether you know Suki Chan, my mum is.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
So I was around like him and going to the house, and his dad, Suki's dad, my mama,
Yeah,
he passed away quite young. But he was part of the Bhangra scene as well.
yeah, yeah.
So I was brought up with it. Obviously not as big as Apna Sangeet, but yeah, I can sort of relate to that. Going in, the people rehearsing, Sergit rehearsing, and
Yeah, yeah.
coming in, Dave Dolly. Sorry, what were you going to say?
Yeah. The thing is, you say not as big as Apna Sangeet. The thing is, if you actually look, and I know more about Bhangra music than I do about anything else. It's a bit of a curse. I actually don't know my own cousins' names, and that's the God honest truth. My wife knows my cousins' names, but you can ask me about an album that was made in 1987. I'll tell you that. That's just the way I'm wired for some reason. Um, but going back to that point, yes, Up and a big name and all these other guys, but there were so many other bands that just don't get a mention, who all played a massive role in this. So yeah, they may not have had the long-term success, but they were part of a movement which made other bands work harder, think different, maybe inspired stuff that was happening. You don't know who was inspiring who at the time. So yeah, everyone, every musician, every writer, every singer, every what coach, driver, van driver who was
Yeah.
part of that team made a difference. They all made a difference, and yeah, again, it was a blessing to be in and around. It's an exciting time.
Yeah, it was crazy. I mean, and the other thing was that every band had their own unique style, which it's such a shame. I think in music today, we've lost that uniqueness. Like Sahotis,
Yeah,
there was no band like Sahotis. There was no band like DCS,
yeah,
Excellency, Upness. Each had their own, really, really unique style. When it but me,
yeah. And I don't think that's any different to. I think I think we're a lot as Brown and there are a lot more harsh on ourselves.
you reckon?
Um, yeah, man. Because listen to the mainstream top 40 today. How much of it sounds the same?
It's true. Yeah, it's true.
What songs are popping off as a big tune? What songs are being produced in a way that is different? If Afrobeat is a big genre right now, how many of those sequences are the same and the sounds are the same? I
That's
think that it's not just a Bhangra thing, it's just
That's
a
an amazing point, to be fair. To be fair, because the reason why I say that because I listen to a lot of 80s rock.
Yep,
The rock bands had it.
yep,
The rock because they were all really live musicians. The rock bands had it, and they had like you had Nirvana, you had Guns N' Roses, you had Bon Jovi, and they each had their own style.
yep.
That's
Yeah,
gone as well, isn't it? It's essentially
completely.
the rock scene.
In every genre, like bands used to have riffs, they used to have little rhythm patterns and things like that that are iconic. You know, the Tool intro to Mera Yaba Jaba Tool is iconic. Um, in the 90s, there were other songs with other Tool intros on it that people remember, but that doesn't exist anymore. And it's just a sign of the times and society. And I'm very much a person who is I don't hate on where we are today and
No,
compare it to that. You can't because it's the same across the board. You have to evolve, and evolving means it's now more than just the music. Whereas before it was about the music. The scene that we're in now, it's more than just the music. There's a lot more work involved in, if anything. So if the music is slightly taking a back seat in terms of creativity, well, then that creativity also has to be put into your social media content, the way you look, your pictures and your videos. There's more creativity being spread across things to get you noticed than there was before. Before you just had to make an album, have a nice cover, and do a few gigs. So uh, every era has their own issues, and I think we should always look at the 80s and go, yeah, that was amazing, and give it its flowers for what it was.
Yeah.
Same with the 90s, same with the 2000s, and we're here and now, and we just can't compare. There's you just can't do it. But you have to enjoy what's happening now. You have to
Mm.
appreciate what's happening now. Um, and you've got to find a way of making a difference. Um, and staying relevant. I think I maybe made it a bit more complicated than it should be in my explanation, but as far as I'm concerned, the platforms are there, the
Yeah.
creativity is there. Um, there's free ways of putting your music out. Um, just do it. You should just be doing it. You should be doing more of it. There shouldn't be any excuses. So yeah, hopefully, um, hopefully people will pick up on that. Just keep making music and putting it out there.
Mm. So let's get back to your childhood. How did you get into playing keys and producing as well? I'm assuming that you went keys first.
I had no choice. No, no, everything. I had no choice. No, actually, no. I take that back. I had Me personally, I had no option. Because I was just so engrossed in music. It would be like my dad would have a gig on a Saturday. He'd come downstairs. Dad, how'd you get the program? Where are you going today? Oh yeah, here we go. Got to go to Bradford first, and then we're gonna go to Leeds afterwards. Oh yeah, okay, cool, cool, cool. You see the van come up, jump in the van, off he's go. And as a kid, I'm thinking, I wonder what the gig in Bradford's gonna be like. I wonder if it's gonna be any good. I wonder what it's gonna be like in Leeds. Are they gonna wear these couple? What uniform? And I'd be like, Dad, what? Which ones are you wearing today? What tops you wearing today? And then once they're gone, I'd put in a VHS. My mum would have done a night shift because she was a nurse for A&E, so she would have done night shift.
Wow.
She'd be asleep upstairs. Dad would have gone off to a gig. I put in a VHS and I would set up any little instrument that I had and pretend to be in the band. That was my Saturday, every Saturday, religiously as a kid. And I just used to mimic everything. I used to mimic everything. And then um, I'd start to learn tabla from Ajit Singh Matalashi ji. Keys, I just picked everything. I was just listening to tapes and recreating, listening, recreating, mimicking. That's all I ever did. Um, that had its limitations because when I finally did start playing with Apna Sangeet when I was 15 years old,
Wow.
and I saw the other keyboard players who were in other bands at the time. Yeah, I was out of my depth, completely out of my depth. And I had to improve quickly, very, very quickly to maintain a spot in such an iconic band that other people would have wanted. The last thing I wanted to be was a nepotism hire. So I had to do a lot of improvement on my end. But as a kid, it was just about give me a Dolki, I'm going to replicate that. Give me a double, I'm going to try and copy that. Put cassettes on, rewind that song, and just do it. Like I could probably on a Dolki right now play you the complete percussion arrangement of Hiras Jagwala Milla. I know it inside out, even now. To the point where last year I actually played with Hira. I did a Dolki session with them live, and I knew it. There was no rehearsal needed. It was just the way I was as a kid. I just couldn't help it. I was just obsessed with new cassette, put it in. What have they done? Let me try and copy it. Still do it today, to be honest.
Did you not try singing? As your dad's a singer.
Yeah. I I always say this, I can sing, but I'm not a singer.
Mhm.
And the difference is if I'm in a studio with someone, and we're recording vocals, or I'm laying out the composition for them, I will tell them how to sing. I will hit those notes. I will tell them what they need to be doing, how they need to be doing it. I will sing it to them. To be a singer is to have the additional confidence to go front and center of the stage and entertain people. So that's not me. I'm not a guy who's going to go into the
Yeah.
middle of the stage and sing at people and make them dance. And that's never really been me because I'm in competition with my dad, kind of thing in my head anyway. And I don't
Yeah.
want to do that. However, I could quite confidently say that I sing better than a lot of singers because I have that technical knowledge and ability to guide singers in a way that, you know, जे ਇੱਥੋਂ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਸ਼ੁਰੂ ਕਰਨਾ ਆ ਭਾਜੀ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਆ ਸੁਰ ਲਾਓ ਜਾਂ ਆ you know ਕੋਮਲ ਸੁਰ ਲਾਓ and I'll sing it to them.
Mm.
Uh, plus this is just that self thing of yeah I don't sound good, you know what I mean, so whatever. So but yeah, I have recorded songs. My first recording was actually at the age of 10. Did it at Frantic Studios. It was just like literally on a couple of guide beats, recorded a couple of songs. About a decade ago, I thought, should I try this singing thing? And I actually produced and sang a song. Um, but yeah, it's not me. It's
It's
not
not
me.
your thing.
I'm more than happy helping other people out.
But the amazing thing is, like, see, this is really amazing stuff, Dips, because I didn't know your variety of talent you've got, like your dollar keys, even the singing, because that's
Yeah.
not like, to me, you're almost like a complete package in that sense, you know, without bigging yourself up too much, but you know,
I'm just the best at what I can do.
yeah,
The only way I can describe it is there's nobody like me in this industry, but that doesn't mean I'm the best. That
no,
just means that I'm the only one that can do that. I'm the only one that can do what I do.
yeah,
And I can make things work. I can make things happen. I can fix things. But you put me up against Owen here on a harmonium, he's gonna kick my ass. That's
yeah,
the way. And I'm cool with that. But if I need to play a piece in a recording, I can grab that harmonium and play it. That's
yeah,
not a problem. Um, Same with the tool. I'll record my own tools. But you put me next to True School or 600 shit that they're gonna whoop me. Um, but that doesn't mean I can't get the job done. And I
no,
do. So everything I do at my studio and have done for a decade is whether it's the tumbi or the electric banjo. I even once took the electric banjo, played a piece, and turned it into a guitar by putting guitar amps and pedals and controllers through it to make it sound like a rock guitar. So I was actually
wow,
doing ding a ding a ding like that, but it's that it's that. So and the thing is, I enjoy doing that kind of stuff. I enjoy having fun. Even now, I'm working a lot with AI, like producing songs using AI to my advantage, and then and things like that. So I wouldn't say the complete package. I'm more of a yeah. You need a guy to get a job done. Yeah, I can get it done.
yeah. That's really cool. So let's go back to your when you said that you were out of depth when you started playing keys for opera singing. How did you go back and improve your skills in that? Because that must have been like, well, I'm in the deep end right now. So what do I do?
Yeah, so the way that actually happened was, so I've been singing obviously iconic band. Whether my dad's in it or not is irrelevant. They were an iconic band with an amazing live set, especially probably more than the recordings. They had a good 10-year run actually, 10 years, 10 albums. And in 95 decided, right, enough's enough, we'll end it at the top. That's cool. Dan and Sadara started getting calls, buddy, to see, want to book you now, we're not together. Well, you two carry on and just get some other musicians in it. And that's basically what it was. And for a month, they had a keyboard player. So Gujran Mal joined them. Devinder Kalsi Tabla joined them. They found a brand new drummer. And on keys, they had Nick Chowlia, who's currently in Canada with
Yeah,
Karma, a good friend of mine. And they originally had him for a month. And at that time, I don't think he was feeling it as much. And, they were like, look, we need somebody. I don't think Nick's going to be able to do the weekend. We need to get through this weekend. Because I still remember it. It was August bank holiday. Saturday was a wedding in Gravesend. Sunday was a wedding in Derby. And Monday was the Movie Magazine Awards at the Hammersmith in London, Hammersmith.
mhm,
So my dad goes, look, to Sadara, kind of look, my son can play a bit. He's not great, but I'll back him on one keyboard. He can play the other one. We've got John Adams, our guitarist. Let's just get through the weekend and we'll find someone. and that was in 1996, and they're still looking. That's genuinely what happened. Um, the problem I had was I was a kid who didn't have any confidence, um, lacked self-belief. Any mistake would decimate my confidence. I'm on stage playing iconic music and pieces for a band where you can't mess up the music to Soro Rote because everyone knows you messed up. It's iconic. You can't get it wrong. So I used to play with like that. I used to play like this with my head down, never used to look up. And at the end of the day, it got to the point where I was going to quit. And I was just like, Dad, I can't handle this. I can't do this.
Wow.
Obviously, it's your band. I'm messing things up. So that I wasn't overly happily with the fact that I kept making mistakes. And Dad just turned around and said, "Look, you can go if you want." Um, but he goes, "Jitin nahi changa lagda, to karke dikhal." If you don't like it, if you don't like making mistakes, if you don't like people having a go at you, if you don't like people taking the mick out of you, then you got to show. We'll find someone else. You're the one that's going to lose out, or you can apply yourself, get better, and prove people wrong. That's what I did.
What a great bit of mentoring actually by your dad there. It really.
Yeah. And then there was another one. So that was one thing. And then the other one was we had a drummer in the band who's like family friend. He's like family in Jatinda, and he was our drummer. And he had a go at me once. He was like, "Why do you play with your head down?" And I'm like, "Oh, don't know, boy." He goes, "No, why do you play with your head down?" And I go, "Oh, I just don't want to make any mistakes, and things like that." This was before a gig we were setting up, and he goes, "You need to play with your head up. Come on, man, play with your head up." I go, "No, but what happens if I make a mistake?" And he goes, "Doesn't matter." And I go, "No." Then I was like, "But I'm not as good as the other keyboard players in the Bhangra industry." And how old was I? I was like 18, 17, 18. And he goes, "Yeah, you're right. You're not. You're shit." I was like, "What?" He goes, "Yeah, you're shit." He goes, "But the thing is, for this band, you're the best." He goes, "Put you in any other band, you can't handle it. But put them in this band, they can't handle it. You're the best for this band. That stage that you're standing on, that spot, that's your spot. So you need to own it, play with your head up, and enjoy it." And I was like, "All right, cool. We'll do that then." And we did, and never looked back since. If you look at my socials now, I'll just share videos of me playing, and I'm just smiling. I'm enjoying it, and never really looked back since then.
That is so cool. Cool journey. So how did you transition from that to the production side of it?
The production side of it wasn't something that I really, again, obsessed with music. So, Dad had a recording studio on Rookery Road, just off the Rookery Road in Handsworth, and with Gajoran. And when it was Easter holidays, I was there. Suki John was there as the engineer at the time. It was Christmas holidays, I was there. Summer holidays, I was there. I'd just be sitting there watching, sitting, watching, sitting, watching, taking it all in, watching these songs being recorded, these albums being recorded, these techniques that were being used to record stuff. Anyone come in, I'd be the tea boy, I'd be the coffee guy. I did that for 3 years, 4 years. Um, and always kind of wanted to do it. But again, confidence at that age, I just didn't have the confidence to do it. I could just about play keyboards, let alone produce something. You know what I mean? My little push into production actually came on Christmas Eve at the Bagleys in London nightclub at a gig when I met Bally Jackpal, who literally I bumped into. It's like, yeah, and he was like, and I still remember the conversation now, even though he blanks my calls. I just said to him, I just
Mr. Belly.
blanks my WhatsApps even now. But yeah, no, he goes, "You're Glonson, aren't you?" And I'm like, "Yeah." So this is Bally Jack Pal after Dark and Dangerous.
Oh, so
So
at the
this is
peak of it.
peak. I go, "Yeah, yeah, yeah, yeah." He goes, "You're good, you are." was like, oh, thanks, man. He goes, yeah, I'll see you perform. So I know this off by heart. He goes, yeah, I've seen you performing, man. You're good. Like, you're really good. Like, cheers, man. Thanks. You should do production. I go, yeah. And he goes, yeah, you should do it. I go, I don't think I'm very good. And he goes, I've got the biggest song of the year. So this is what, 99? I've got the biggest song of the year and I can't play an instrument. You can. You should do it. And I was like, okay. And then I just went into the studio and I tried and I was terrible. But that was the first push into doing production.
Oh,
Don't know why he said it to me, but that's genuinely how it happened. However, I quickly learned that I was not good enough. And I tried as hard as I could. I just couldn't, just wasn't working. I know people would still say now I'm not working as a good producer, but back then yeah, it just wasn't happening. But yeah, it was Barry Jackpot, that one conversation.
wow. And it's funny how like sort of your door, your doors, like your music's production software. That's an instrument in itself now, isn't it? Really, as Bally said,
Yeah.
yeah, he couldn't play an instrument, but actually he's playing a different type of instrument, isn't it?
Yeah. And again, this whole a producer's not a producer unless you learn how to play, unless you know how to play an instrument. I've always called BS on that.
Yeah,
Because I liken it to a film. So if the film has a director and a producer, are they the actors?
no,
Oh, it's the scriptwriter um, playing a role in the film.
mhm,
Okay. So if the director and the scriptwriter and the costume lady and the producer of this film are not seen on camera, are they any less part of the process of making that film?
no,
No. So if a music producer gets the best musicians in to do a job, because they feel that they are the ones that are going to deliver the vision for that song, why is that wrong?
no, it's not. No,
So I've always called BS on that. Um, yeah, you have certain people like a and Hair or Chaos Productions or True School or you know what I mean, Sukshinda Shinda, who can play a fair few instruments. But again, with all due respect, if you put a bass guitar in front of Sukshinda Shinda, he ain't gonna give you a bass line, is he?
no,
No, he's not. Of course he's not, because he's never learned how to play bass lines. So he will get the best person in to play the bass line for him.
mhm,
Or he will put down something but say, yo, bro, can you just, make this. Do you know what I mean? You've got to get the best people in to do the best job possible. A producer's job is to have a vision.
yeah,
Barry Jackpot had an amazing vision, if we go back to him. He
no,
just needed people to deliver that vision, and he did. And I think this whole you're not a producer unless you can play something. Oh, yeah, it's nonsense. Absolute nonsense. And that's actually the trap I fell into the beginning. The trap was I need to be able to. So actually, my first album was that. My first album was me thinking that I had to do everything.
mm.
So I made a whole album where I played the tabla, the tolki, the tool, the tumbis, the
Really,
banjo, the kids, everything. I did everything start to finish,
that's
and it's
phenomenal in its own self,
it,
isn't
it's atrocious. It really is. So if I've got a hit song, which is Mr. Makana, that was originally done in 2003 without a bass line. There's a song that I've made where the doors aren't tuned, and it's without a bass line because I didn't have the guts to play bass. So I thought if I call someone in, that's an admission of defeat. So I'll spin it by saying there's no bass line in there, so the DJs can add their own bass lines. How stupid is that? That is dumb. So when I redid it, that's why if you actually look at the album cover and the inlay, I've called it Mr. Muckler. Now it sounds better because this is what it should have sounded like a decade earlier. So yeah, again, it's like with anything and everyone. It's all a learning process. It's all a learning process and the ability to evolve. If
it?
you don't evolve as a person, as a musician, as an artist, you're going to get left behind. That's one thing I can confidently say I've done relatively well, which is evolve with the times and realize what I need to do or could do or should do or do less of, whilst others have been left behind, unfortunately. But again, might not be relevant this time next year. That's
No.
also that's also
Especially
a
with
truth.
AI and stuff coming as well, isn't it?
Of course, yeah, 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 yeah. I might not be relevant this time next year and doing something completely different. And again, that's another mindset you've got to have. If because look, I've done nothing but music since the age of 15.
Hi guys, this is Raj Kaul. Thanks so much for listening to the podcast. If you want to support the rest of my music, if you could go and check me out on Spotify, on Apple Music, and add my songs to your playlists if you like them. Thank you.
याद तेरी जद आउंदी सोहणीए साह साडे रुक जांदे ने
I think on one circumstance where you the knowledge of an instrument might actually help is when there's a certain level. And by level I don't mean like it's like a bhangra level, or like there's certain levels of music. Like say you're producing for a film now.
Yeah.
Then the musical theory has to kick in, isn't it? You might have a relative major here, diminished, which you need to know that.
But again, if you're A.R. Rahman and you're putting together if you're A.R. Rahman and you're putting together a film score, and you're going to be working with an orchestra, if you're if you're a critique of Punjabi music, you'd be saying, well, A.R. Rahman needs to play all 70 violins.
No, yeah.
You know what I mean? So that doesn't happen. So what he would do, even though he might score something and write something down, he's not just going to go, "Blah, blah, blah, blah. Here you go, play it." There's a collaborative point in there. So
Absolutely,
whoever the person is going to say, "Yeah, that's great. How about if we do this?" Or actually, bro, we've got to change this a little bit here. And again, that just boils down to you being open to work with people, all these little things that we just don't do enough of in our scene. So yeah, theory is obviously important. It is important. But it's not the be all or end all.
absolutely, yeah.
What you need more than anything else is the desire and passion to want to do it. Bali Jagpal had the desire and passion to want to do it, referring back to him, and he did it.
Mm.
And then you can be A.R. Rahman on the other scale where he knows everything,
Yeah.
but he had the desire and passion to do it. That's why he's done it. If you're going to be lazy about it, if you're going to come at me with excuses, my kismat is Mari, all this, I ain't got time for you. I genuinely haven't got time for you. You're in charge of your own destiny. Got to keep going. Got to keep going. I've had more failures than hits. Still here paying the bills, and it's all through music.
That's actually one of the best bits of advice, especially in this day and age. There's no excuse really, as you said, is there?
No, there isn't. And I'm to blame myself for not doing enough or doing more. But then I've got other responsibilities in terms of, putting my show together for Asian Network, putting events together, for people's big days as a DJ, working in studios with other people. I teach children music as well, on a weekly basis. So I've got other things on which takes away from my ability to make more music. But as a complete package, yeah, music's paying my bills. Just about, but it's paying my bills.
Yeah.
And the only reason it's happening is because I'm all in. I'm committed. I'm gonna make it work. So whether it's the Hippodrome with Surinder Shinda a few years ago, or whether it's in a restaurant, I'll do it. That's how committed I am. It doesn't bother me. I just want to do the
You
music.
to Cyprus the other day, haven't you?
Yeah.
So,
Went to Cyprus on a Saturday, came back Monday morning, had no idea who the singers were, had no idea what their songs were. I'm part of a band doing something completely different with my computer, which they've never done, which I've never done, to an audience that have no idea. But we went there, we made it work. It was brilliant. But you just need to be like if it was 10 years ago, no, I don't think I can do it. No, I'm not sure. No, is it, no, you can't do that. So like, Dickie, yo, let's see what happens. And we made it work and it sounded great. It was brilliant. It was a good little vibe. So now I've come back going, right, I know what I need to do now to make a singer sound good on stage. So my plan now is to develop that to take a singer or a group of singers or a band or whatever it is and just level them up to what I believe they should be. Because our live scene, as talented as my brothers and musicians are, they're still very 1994, 95 in the way that they're still presenting themselves on stage. The rest of the world's moved on. We haven't. Tech is there to use. We're not utilizing it. Everyone else is. So
Mm.
for my thing is like, look, I'm here in Birmingham. I can put a whole live show together for you. Let's do it. And then you tell me what musicians you want part of it. Let's make them part of it. So I'm excited about, what we could be doing in the future and just helping to elevate. I enjoy doing that. I
Mm.
don't need to be front and center as a singer. I'm happy at the back, helping and elevating whoever wants to go for it. But again, if they don't come with the desire and the passion and the commitment, yeah, that don't work for me either. You've got to be driven.
You got to be all in, don't you, in
Well,
music?
it have to be. It ain't gonna work otherwise.
Mm. So how did you transition to the BBC, Dips?
Again, it's just that thing of I needed something to listen to go to sleep. So from cassettes, it was a radio, just used to radio all the time, and I was just amazed. For me, radio was so there's somebody in a room somewhere doing something that is being broadcast and I can hear it. I wonder what it's like in there. I wonder what that so you obviously you 80s and 90s. There was no way of knowing what the radio presenter looked like. There was no way of knowing what the studio
Didn't
looked
even think
like.
of that. To be fair.
Yeah. So if I'm just sitting there and literally I'll be in bed going, I wonder what he's like. I wonder what he's wearing. I wonder has he got a beard? Has he got glasses? What's she like? I wonder what equipment they've got. Have they got the albums or are they doing something? Like I'd always be doing that. And I was obsessed with radio. And as a listener, I was part of almost like the birth of the Asian network in the sense that I used to listen to Five Live, and Five Live used to have a feed which had Danny Tranji
Yeah.
doing an Asian show, and I used to listen to that, and then that went into Danny Tranji being on Asian network, as it were, which was a feed of Radio WM in the evening. So you'd have Radio WM in the evenings during the day, and then the feed would split. So in the evenings, you'd have like, see again, remember off the top of my head, like Pam Sambi as a presenter, you'd have Ray Khan, you'd have Amajit Sidhu, you would have Tony Mandez, you'd have Danny Chiranji, Jay Patel, Michael Butt, Sanjay Sharma, all these guys, these are the original presenters of the Asia Network. And I used to listen to them on a religious basis, like it would be weekends. The whole weekend was Asian Network, and the whole of the evenings were Asian Network. And yeah, I loved it. I just listened to radio all the time. If it wasn't cassettes, it'd be Asian Network on the radio. And I got into it because on a Friday night, Neelu Khalsi used to have her Punjabi show, and I used to help out as a tabla player for an auntie who lived local, used to teach kids and stuff, and it was Rajvinder. And she goes, "Oh, I need you to play tabla. We've been asked to come on to the Asia Network to do a Vasaki performance. So can you help, like, the girls playing sitar and her?" I was like, "Yeah, yeah, cool, yeah, lad, this is the dream come true. I get to see what happens behind this radio box thing in my room." So I went
Mm.
to Pebble Mill, loved it, brilliant, played tabla there, and um, I knew one or two people there through family, and they kind of clocked that this guy's a bit of a nutter. He's into this, isn't he? And they were like, you want to come and just do a bit of um yeah, just work experience. Just come. All right, cool. Oh, I had them chocolate. So you had like family friends, Sarabjit. You had Mukkum Banissa, who used to work at Natural Records. He was there as well. And they would be like, yeah, just come. So I'd just go and answer phones. So at the age of 17, I used to go, hello, Asian Network. What's your name? Yeah, right. Okay, where you calling from? Yeah, cool. And what's your request? Okay, thank you. Bye. Hello, Asian Network. What's your name? And literally, that's what I would do. And I loved it. And then from there, like, oh, we need someone to do this. Yeah, I'll do it. Yeah, we need someone to do this. Yeah, I'll do it. Can you do it? We'll see. Let's see what happens. Um, and I just spent from like 97, 98 to about 2002 just doing that. Just any job, anything that needed doing, I would do it. I put my hand up and try and do it. And then the presenting thing, again, it was an accident because I had just started DJing. We did a Christmas party and I was just roasting all the presenters and all the staff on the mic. And a couple of months later, this was 2003 in February, Adol Ray couldn't do the show literally last minute. I was driving the desk, so Nikki Beatty, she was the presenter, drive time. I was on the desk making sure she's on air. That was my job, studio managing. And they go, can you come for Adol? No. Yeah, just do that DJing thing you did at Christmas. Just do it tonight if you can help us out. Okay, cool. Bloody hell, all right, cool. Did the show, went really well, and I caught the bug because I never wanted to be a presenter. Just like I never wanted to be a singer, I never wanted to be a presenter. I was happy behind the scenes, helping everyone else out. But then I did it, I caught the bug, and here I am, still hanging on in there.
Absolutely phenomenal. That is. Yeah, you know what I love about your experiences that you just put yourself up out there as a kid and just did the job no one else, so no one else wanted to do, and you're there.
The thing is, that's the only thing I was passionate about. Like, and if I say to you, I failed GCSE music, I failed A-level media studies, I failed my diploma in sound engineering. For some reason, I thought doing psychology at Coventry Uni was a good idea, but I walked out of my first exam in the first year. I actually walked out after 20 minutes and went to a gig in Glasgow.
That's phenomenal.
But I ended up doing all those things as my career. Everything I failed, I did end up doing as a career. I just had to apply myself in a different way.
Yeah.
And I think it's just that's just life with anything. You just gotta give it your yeah, don't get me wrong, there's times now where, like, in my head, I really want to do a live event where I can showcase what I can do, but it worries me. Like, are people gonna come? Are they gonna want to see this? Is it something worth doing? Am I going to lose out? Am I going to owe people money? You start thinking like that, and you don't do it. So there are, even now, there's still doubts in my head. But things that, yeah, back then it was, yeah, I'll try it. Yeah, I'll have a go. If you got no one else, let me try it. And it was always that.
I think the pressure comes when you've got a family. You can't take, when you're young, you can take all these risks. You've got a sort of, what's the worst that's going to happen sort of thing. But as you get a family, it becomes a bit more risky, doesn't it? Taking ventures.
The risk is, for me, it's always monetary. That's the only thing. Well, not even that. I don't mind losing out. Believe me, I've lost out. But I don't want to owe anyone. So that's why I probably don't do it. But again, it's your mindset. Like, if my missus was here now, she'd tell you, I'll tell you, in 16 years of us being married, we've been on 3 holidays.
Sounds about right.
3 holidays. One was our honeymoon, one was the year after, and one was on our 10th wedding anniversary. We've only ever done 3 holidays. Now, I got next man's who are my mates, and it's a year, every year, every twice a year. And yes, my missus would love that. I know she would, but I can't bring it. I can't give her that. I can't commit to that because I've got to go and do someone else's wedding. or I've got to go and perform here, and she hates it, but she accepts it.
Mm.
She knew what she was coming into, and I fully respect her opinion of the fact that I hate this, but I also respect the fact that she accepts who I am.
Mm.
But that's the level, bro. If I told you when it was her brother getting married, my brother-in-law's getting married, we've got the Junni ceremony. We're in Coventry, so I'm at the Junni ceremony, and it's her brother, his to-be wife. We're there as a family, and I leave my wife and two kids there, jump in my car to go and do someone else's function. She had no way home. She had to find a way home.
Oh, that's crazy.
That's the level you got to be at to be successful.
Crazy.
That's and there's not enough guys and girls in our generation or the next generation who are willing to do that. It's not right,
Mhm.
but if you are somebody who's looking for the public's adulation, then you got to be there for the public at the expense of at the expense of your family. Everything you're doing is for your family.
Yeah.
As long as your partner understands that, whether she likes it or not is she's just one of those things.
Is
But
she
she understands it.
is she involved in your music in any way, or
No, no, not in that sense. Like I'll run things past her. What do you think of this? What do you think of that? What do you think of this? And she'll be honest about it. She'll give me a different perspective on any musical issues I may or may not have. But she's not like directly involved in terms of, taking my
'cause my
bookings or
wife manages me.
oh, does she?
I've got her fully involved.
And you know what? My wife has offered. It's not that she hasn't, but I just don't. I'm just like, I need you to be independent. I need you to do
Yeah,
your own thing and be there for me when I need you. And likewise, you have a problem at work. I don't want you to be the problem. I need, you know what I mean? I need you there to help me with mine, just like I'm going to help you with yours.
yeah, yeah.
I don't know. It could have worked. It could have worked the other way around. It might have been the all-conquering power couple.
Yeah.
Uh,
What happened? To tell you a story, right? In 2023, I think because of Ruby, my wife,
yeah.
I think I was the only artist that year who did 13 million.
Okay.
Nothing to do with me.
Yeah.
Honestly, nothing to do with me. She just got the bookings and bang, bang, bang.
Brilliant. And I think again, you just don't know. But again, there's plenty of guys out there who unfortunately things just haven't worked out with their partners, and it's a bit of a mess. Um, so for me, she puts up with it, and I appreciate that.
Yeah,
But then on the flip side, I also did tell her, look, there's a chance I might not be home 7 days a week. Is that going to be a problem? She's the only one who said, no, it's fine. So that's
yeah.
she's stuck with me. We're stuck with each other now. But no, it's good. Again, you just have the levels of sacrifice you got to put in is next level. And remember, my dad sacrificed being in and around us at a time when there were no communications possible.
Yeah.
Would see him go off to Canada. Might see you later, Dad. See you in 2 weeks. You might get one phone call. And every single night you're wondering, is he okay? Is he all right? We haven't heard anything. Is everything okay? You know what I mean? We didn't see our birthdays, nothing. But he's achieved what he's achieved because he's had to sacrifice his family. Um, so yeah, maybe it'll change. Maybe it'll be different for the newer artists, but still for me, you've got to be at that level.
Yeah. So
That's the mindset you need.
the next thing I wanted to ask you about was the live scene here. You've been part of the live scene for a very long time.
Mm,
Do you see because we've got like Tubbsy's guys, the live experience, and I think there's one or two other.
yeah, there's Scope, there's the Legends Band. Omen Hair does his Entourage as well.
So where do you think in the UK was renowned for the live scene? Do you think is there a resurgence in that, or which way do you think we're going? I'll tell you my opinion afterwards of what
Yeah.
but I'd just love to hear you. Your
My opinion on that is in the 80s. So okay, let's do it this way. In the 60s and the 70s, the original guys. So I'm talking uh Colonel Colonel Desange and Colonel Chima and Desange and Pachungi and Anari and all these guys, yeah. They were either at the Gurdwara or in a community hall or in a pub.
Mhm.
Whatever instruments they had, and they were doing whatever they could. And absolute respect for them because they were limited. What happened in the 80s was the live band scene started to look at, well, what is the mainstream doing?
Yeah.
How much of that can we use to influence into our music? Along comes Deepak Kajanchi, who does that within he does recordings. Because if you listen to Jagwala Mella, then you listen to Diamonds from Hero, it's sonically night and day. And those elements started to come into the bands. Like for me, Bardesi Music Machine were my favorites because they went they took synth music and added the sampling. No one else had done that. And then that sampling continued into the 90s and the bands of the 90s just kind of just became better at everything. But it
Mhm.
was lots of inspiration from the mainstream. I think what's happened and the reason why there isn't a massive live scene now for the UK bands is because we haven't evolved as a band since the 90s.
Mhm.
The sounds that we're using, the style that we're playing in, the makeup of a band, nothing's changed. Still a bass player, still a guitarist, still a keyboard player, tabla, drummer, tool. That's it. And it's been like that, and that's what people have been listening to for nearly 20 years now, 25 years,
Mhm.
that sound. Whereas in the mainstream, they've moved on. They're using backing tracks, they're using pre-production, they're using stuff that they've done beforehand on stage with a live band,
Yeah.
which means that what people are hearing is night and day. A Bhangra band in 2005 is still an acoustic offering
Mm.
when 90% of the people are still hearing studio quality sound coming out of a speaker. So if you're at a gig and you got a DJ, you're not hearing acoustic music like you used to hear in the 80s.
No, no.
You're hearing produced, mixed, mastered, quality music coming out your speakers. So when you put that up against the band, people's ears are already tuned
Mhm.
to a mastered mixed sound. Then
Yeah.
you're giving them an acoustic offering. What do you think is going to happen?
There's a drop, isn't it?
And it's been like that for nearly 10, 15 years.
Mm.
And instead of going, well, hang on, there is a drop. We need to level up. We're like, no, we're not going to move a senior hill now. We're not going to do backing tracks. We're not going to do none of that. But then complain you got no gigs.
Mm.
Okay, cool. So then my argument is, um, how's Daljeet's gigs? How's Daljit in 2024?
Yeah, it's phenomenal. Yeah.
Yeah. How many thousands of people did he perform to?
Mhm.
They went to see it. They went to see a live band. So the demand is there for live music. You're just not delivering it in the way that the audience of 2024, 25 expect to hear live music. The live music bar for us are the thousands of people who paid ridiculous money to go and see voluntarily paid ridiculous money to see Diljit live and Karan Aujla and all these guys. That's the level now. But we're still here complaining.
Mm.
So for me, that's why what we did in Cyprus might be a little thing. What I did with DCS at DC Live, shout out to Shin, who goes, I need you on my set to deliver that studio sound. And we did. Um, and there's a few singers who are adamant that they want to do it now. So for me, I'm like, yeah, let me help you facilitate that. So for me, it's a sound battle that we're just not delivering the sound through the speakers that the audience would like to hear.
Mm.
We're still giving them what was working in
Yeah,
2000, in 1994.
I mean, especially if something's like really catchy, like say you've got a piece that you love, and no matter how much, no matter how hard you try and play that, it's not going to replicate that sound that's
Yeah.
been mixed and mastered. I know.
Yep. It's like if a singer, let's say tomorrow you're on stage, you want to sing Mundiya Tabachke.
Mhm.
You have to play that. You have to play that tumbi. You have to play that sample. You could get my dad on stage, the original player of that. You could get B2 on there. You could get a runner on there. Amazing tumbi players, all of them. It's gonna sound terrible.
Mm.
So, okay, then you get a keyboard player who can play that sound or play a sound that sounds like a tumbi and play it for you. Not what people want to hear. Okay, so if that's not what people want to hear, what do? You need to hear that tumbi, maybe pitch down because it's a different key or whatever. But yeah, pitch it down. But whether it's or whatever it is, they need to hear that loop. So give it to them and then play on top.
Yeah.
That's not cheating. That's not anything else. That's not you can't do it or give the audience what they want, please. And I promise you, you'll get gigs.
Yeah, and you got these expensive, synthesizers, but you're not utilizing them.
So yeah. So you've got the Pradesi music machine who in 1987 were working with 7 second sample time and were doing Pump Up the Bhangra live. And if you don't believe me, you can watch my YouTube. I've got footage of that. 7 seconds of sample time, and they managed to do Pump Up the Bhangra for 11, 12 minutes non-stop. Yeah, and we can't do that now. Sharamani Chahidiya. That's all I can say. But then you're not willing to change, then carry. Like I'm at a point now. Yeah, carry on. I haven't got time to listen to your complaints. Now. I'm going to say, look, whoever wants to come, let's come. Let's do it. You got to put the work in. You got to put the effort in. You got to put the commitment in. You got to have to put the money in. But it will benefit you because you're going to be giving the audience a live experience, a live sound that they would appreciate. It's in your benefit. I mean, I'm making live sets now. I'm making live sets for. I've made one, recently for Bhutta Pradesi. The young singer Kushi Kaur. JK, I've made a live set for him, a folk one. And yeah, they're just going out and performing it. It's brilliant.
Chaos as well. He did the same with them.
Yeah. So Chaos does everything with him anyway. Just wanted a folk set. And I was like, yeah, I can help you out. It's not a problem. It's not going to be as good as a Chaos production, but I can put something together. But the point is, there's a singer there, or Kushi, or Butta, or that. I need this. Can you help me make it happen? Yeah, no problem. Let's do it. And we just need more of that. We need more of that mentality. How do we need to make our lives performances better? How can we elevate our band? Why are we not getting enough gigs? I can give you a rundown of everything, every band, every issue, every problem, every singer. I can give you a rundown now if you gave me a list. I should start a consultancy, really.
No, honestly, it's been so insightful because I've interviewed loads of guests, and this is a totally different perspective.
Mm.
On the live scene. I've got a little different angle with the live
One
scene.
more thing though. One more thing. Yeah, musician. Again, I know all the guys. I love them all. They're brilliant, but they're lazy. All the musicians are lazy.
Mm-hmm.
Why am I the only one messing around with technology? Why aren't the rest of you? Should be. Because if you do, you'll have more gigs. Promise you. And I think the whole live scene needs to just take a look at itself and go, right, you know what? We've been coasting now, and we're dropping off. How are we going to elevate ourselves? I don't care if a whole bunch of new lads come in and do it. Do it. I'll be at the side of the stage clapping you on.
Is this the same issue? Is it has Canada got the same issue, or is it just here because we've got a legacy of music here?
No, our legacy of music started after India, after Punjab. So why has Gurdas Mann got backing tracks?
Yeah.
If Gurdas Mann is using backing tracks and a live band, what's wrong with you? What's wrong with us here? Of
I think he did a trap beat recently, didn't he, Gurdas
course
Mann?
he did.
Yeah.
And so he should.
Yeah.
Why not? Um, it just it just blows the argument out of the water. Karma, I remember speaking to Nick years ago. Oh yeah, our doggy players left. I'll go, oh damn, what are you gonna do? I was yeah, I've got my laptop. I was like, what do you mean? He goes, yeah, we're just gonna play doggy off the laptop.
Mhm.
Well, how's that gonna work? He goes,
I remember the man Karma.
that's fine. He goes, I don't have to pay the laptop and it pays in beat and it will never go out of beat and we just carry on.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's brilliant. So it's just here in the UK, just not embracing technology. And until you do, you can't come. I will not hear any musician complain. To be honest, again, they're all bros, man. We're all cool. But I don't think they're going to ever complain in front of me because they know they're going to they're going to get a response that they don't
I
like.
think on the other side, like the smaller, see, I'm coming from a perspective slightly. I'm not a massive artist, but we're looking to do like sort of really more intimate gigs.
Yeah.
Like when I mean intimate, I mean actual in your, you know, like in your house. Remember
Yeah, like Mayfields. Yeah.
yeah, that kind of even
House parties, Mayfields. Yeah.
So we're trying to start a movement that way, you know,
Yep.
rather than and maybe later on get bigger. That's what we're trying to get in your house, sort of thing.
Yeah.
Just mind your WWE. I know you're a WWE fan.
Yeah.
That's,
But again, I've got a similar mindset. I'm working on a Bollywood, a Bollywood project, exactly that.
yeah.
Like in our head, yeah, we're gonna do like millionaire house parties. That's the plan.
Maybe.
That's what we want to do, kind of
This is
thing.
someone's living room.
Yeah, literally, yeah.
yeah.
But that's doable.
Yeah.
Of course, it's doable. Like, why isn't it? You've just got to put the time, the effort, and again, like I've spoken to people who have done live sets for, and have thought, it also boils down to money and how much you're willing to invest in yourself. So if I'm going to produce something for you and I give you a price and you're going to go, oh my God, that's a lot. Yeah, I know, but do one gig, you've covered it. Do 10 gigs off that same one set, and it's insignificant what you paid in the beginning. Now, if you're not willing to put the investment into yourself, if you're not willing to put monetary investment, time investment, sacrifice investment to put a set together, like again, the guy I'm working with now, I can't say who it is, but um, he's like, right, I need a 1 hour specific, I need a 1 hour set, Bollywood. Here's the parameters. This is what I want to work with. Can we work on something? Yeah, let's do it. So I'm now halfway through producing a live set for him, a Bollywood one, which we can go out and perform with 2, 3 musicians, but it's going to sound amazing. And that can be replicated, but he's putting the time and effort in to do it. So yeah, so what you're saying is, yeah, of course it's doable, but it's how much you want to put into it beforehand to make it feasible on the back end. But then you've also got to back that up with the right footage, the right everything, and the right social media content. Again, and that goes back to the original point of how you evolve as a person. Yeah, you've got to evolve with the times. You can't just rely on the music. It's never going to work.
So it's been an hour, Dipps. I can talk to you.
Oh my God, all right. Carry on. I'm chilling. I'm chilling.
I'm gonna sort of just wrap it up. So this podcast is about musical excellence, and you've talked about musical excellence all the way through. It's been a masterclass, to be fair, for me. What advice would you give to any, which you already have, but if you have to sum it up in the pursuit, what is the pursuit of musical excellence for you?
The pursuit for musical excellence is stop being lazy, stop making excuses, stop blaming other people, stop blaming your kismet. It's got nothing to do with any of that. If you want to be recognized by the audience, then deliver what you believe in to the audience.
Mm.
And if it works, great. If it doesn't, tweak it and go again. And if that doesn't work, reevaluate and go again. And if that doesn't work, get out another piece of paper and start writing again and try something else and go again. It's the only way it's going to work. If you're expecting gigs to fall into your lap, it ain't going to happen.
Mm.
If you're expecting the quality of my vocals or my music should speak volumes over everything else and all the social, yeah, no, bro, it ain't gonna work. You need to be on it all the time. You need to be on it. You can't be lazy. You're gonna have to sacrifice your time. You're gonna have to sacrifice time with your family. You're gonna have to sacrifice those mixed grills because those mixed grill nights, yeah. You can carry, yeah, bro. Do you know what? The rest of you guys have got to carry on. I've got to do this. It's your application. You've got to be all in. You have to be all in. Um, it's no coincidence that the artists that you are listening to today, the ones who are on your um, Spotify and Apple Music and YouTube algorithms and streams and all that, the ones who are out gigging, the ones who are out gigging are the ones who are all in.
Mm.
They'll have exactly the same story. The difference is they're probably nicer than I am. I ain't got time to sugarcoat it. Um, yeah, you've got to be all in, and it will work. Honestly, I was but a bag of crap in 1996 when I started as a musician, as a producer, as a radio person. I was atrocious, but I just didn't give up. I just carried on. And I'm probably still am a bag of crap compared to other people, and I fully appreciate that and acknowledge that. But I ain't giving up. There's so much more to do, and that's what we're going to try and do. And again, whether it's me behind the mic entertaining the audience, or whether it's me on the side supporting someone entertaining the audience, it always boils down to this. If you're in for the audience and you want the audience adulation, you've got to be all in. There's no two ways about it. You've got to be all in.
That's fantastic, Dipps. Before we go, are we going to win the title?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't want to say anything. I don't want to say anything.
Don't want to jinx it.
I went to watch. Luckily enough, I got tickets to go and watch Liverpool at home to Man City. Shout
Good
out
on,
to my
man.
brother-in-law. Shout out to my brother-in-law, infamous suck for the hookup. Um, and we battered them. And I was sitting there on the Anfield Road, and I was like, "Are they going to start singing? Now you're going to believe us. We're going to be in the league." Now,
Bit
no
too
one,
soon,
nobody was singing it, and I
innit?
was like, "Okay, yeah, do be bad. Don't worry about it.
There's been a bit too many draws for my liking recently, innit?
There's
So
been too many squeaky bum moments, man.
yeah,
Like with Man United and yesterday with Nottingham Forest, but
I was
we
actually
weren't, we weren't supposed to win it. So if we don't, it's okay. But if we do, it'll be great.
I was at the African Stanley game on Saturday.
Okay.
Yeah, so that was really cool. We had my brother got me hospitality tickets for it.
Nice.
Behind the
Nice.
scenes, we met Bruce Grobler and stuff. So it was a good laugh.
Good stuff. But yeah, let's see what happens.
It's the advert, isn't it? African Stanley, remember the?
Yeah. Who are they? Who are they?
So I half expected Ian Rush to be the guest behind the scenes, but it's
I think he was there. I think he was there with the kid who was in the. I saw a picture of Ian Rush with a glass of milk with the kid who was in the original advert, who's obviously like 40 now, with a glass of milk. So they were both there together, which was quite cool. So, but yeah, no, let's see what happens.
yeah.
Ask me that question in April. I'll give you a better answer.
So guys, what this is I know everyone can follow you any on your socials and stuff, but you want to just announce it for people who don't know, and if you got a website or whatnot.
Yeah. So Dipps Bhamrah .net is my website. You can just go there and yeah, have a little smooch around and mooch around and see what's going on. From there, you can check out my show on BBC Asian Network, which is every Sunday. If you're into Punjabi music, I'll bring you the best in new school and the best in old school every Sunday. From there, you can get in touch. Got my studio, the Hyper Lab, which is based in Birmingham. Again, that's basically what we're doing there now, whether it's working with old school artists who want to come back, whether it's new school artists who need a bit of guidance, whether it's the traditional thing of producing a song, whether it's the obscure thing of producing backing tracks or karaoke's. Listen, I'm just there to facilitate whatever you need to do. So yeah, if you need any help or assistance in that sense, there for you. Yeah, and I'm not much of a social media person. I used to be, not so much now. Again, I think I'd rather spend my time yeah, YouTube tutorials. I'm more of a YouTube tutorial kind of guy now.
Do you ever see Boops Sagu's YouTube tutorials? They're
Yeah,
really
yeah,
good.
yeah,
They're
yeah.
really good.
I think I actually featured on one during the COVID days. But yeah, again, that's just another one who at that time thought, right, I need to do something, I need to be proactive, and he was, and yeah, like even with me back in the day, if you go to my YouTube channel, I did a whole video blog series about the making of an album from start to finish, where I was working.
I've never seen that. I've got to check it out.
Oh yeah, yeah. So I started. It literally started from day one in the studio of me sitting in the car telling people that I'm going to make an album. And it took me from, working with Gary Sandu at the time, this footage of that, this footage of me recording with Sunil Kaligan, going out to India, recording people like Surinder Laddi, the violinists, the flute players, the mandolin players, all that stuff. I documented it all. And then, yeah, did a little review of what I thought the album was like at the end as well. So it was like a 1 year project. Books is in that as well, along with Jatty and GB. Actually, I think you might enjoy that. That was basically me kidnapping Jatty Cheed on the pretense that I was going to do a vocal and I needed his help when it was actually him doing a vocal for my album. GB promised to send the vocals through, was sending BBM messages, BlackBerry messages. He was BlackBerry messaging the vocals through live. So I've got that on the video, recording with Jatty, who recorded 11 vocal layers in an hour at Bupsy's place. So yeah, we documented it all. So yeah, I used to do a lot more of that than I do these days. But again, it's just, when you're spread out a lot more than you were back then, it's a bit difficult. But all that stuff's still there on YouTube. So yeah, you could just go to my website and socials and follow me. I was going to say there's only one of me. There is another guy called Dipps Bhamrah as well. Don't think he. Yeah, yeah, yeah. But I think he's a DJ from London who goes by another name as well. So yeah, you might. And I'm not DJ Dipps. I'm not the other Dipps. No, I'm the other. DJ Dipps is the one who did the Get Idea. He's a wicked, amazing DJ. I love him. So yeah, I'm not him. I'm Dipps Bhamrah, the other guy, the other Dipps.
Have you got any music coming out that you want to tell? Or is it?
Have I got any music coming out? No, not at the moment. But I do want to put out. What I do want to put out in 2025 is almost like an instrumental album. No, scratch album, EP. I'm not committing to an album. I want to put out just an expression of music. I did it before. I collaborated with Juggy Rehal of Masterclass, and we did a project which was just showcasing Tawla Dol Ki Dol. And we did that in three different ways on one track. What was it called? Beats by Bhangra, and it was amazing. Got a lot of love for it. Recently found out that True School actually bought it for 79p back then, so that's that's a win for me. I was like, did you? He goes, yeah, I bought it. I was like, sick. All right, cool. So I just think again, as musicians, we need to express ourselves a little bit more, and you don't always need a voice to do that. So one thing I would like to do is that I did have an EP out last year, which was very lo-fi type of beats. Um, and I want to do something like that again, where it's just nice, chilled out lo-fi beats. Um, and then, just flutes and violins and that kind of just keep it nice and just keep it about the music. So that's definitely one project I want to put out. And yeah, just doing loads of little bits and pieces throughout the year as well. And again, to be honest, you just don't know what project's gonna pop up and when, and more than happy to jump on it and just get stuff done. Oh, actually, there is a song coming out. I've done the production for Gujranmal project called Saadi Dosti, where he's working with like friends of his, but then he's also working with guys and girls who are disabled, and he just wanted to do a project which involved everybody, and just showing that unity and Dosti. Doesn't matter, what ailments you might have in life, and he's got people who are not singers, who have disabilities actually singing on there. So
Pretty
I'll be
cool.
working with, yeah, so I'll be working with their vocals and things like that as well. So I think there's about 21, 22 vocalists. So I had to do a lot of work on making sure everyone sits nicely on there. But yeah, I think he's just recently shot a video for it as well. So Saddi Dosti, which I've produced for Midjourney Mile, is probably the first project that'll end up coming out in 2025.
That's fantastic. So I'm gonna close the podcast. You stay online, so we'll have a
All right.
chat anyway.
Cheers, man. Thanks, man.
So,
Appreciate it.
yeah. So, guys, that was Dipps Bhamrah, and honestly, I wasn't feeling well before this podcast, but I'm so inspired by you, Dipps. Honestly, everything you said, it's been a masterclass. This podcast is sort of a selfish project of mine, which inspires me to talk to musicians and get inspired more and more. And
And it should be, listen, and you should be inspired, not just by what I'm saying. I think we need to sometimes look for inspiration. And again, you're being proactive about it. So, I wish you all the success. I think at the end of the day, like I said, um, props to you. You've been doing this for a long time. I remember playing your tune back when I was presenting Bhangra Breakdown. Was it 2010,
yeah,
2009,
long
2010?
time with Ritz.
Every time you've sent me music, I'm always there to help get it out to the people. Um, and yeah, again, it's not a case of you've ever said please, 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 please play my song. At the end of the day, you've sent it, I'll play it, and I want people to know that it's out there. So you're being proactive about things, and
And people are
trying
busy.
a different.
People are busy, Dips, as well, like including yourself. Like I'm not one to badger people. Like I'll be doing this because people are busy. People have got time and stuff like you got to respect that. And as you were saying, it's not in anyone else's hands. It's in your own hands.
Yeah, yeah.
I know.
And look, at the end of the day, if you're being proactive and you ended up on 13 million, that's 13 more than me. So that just shows that there's a lot of hard work that's going into making things happen for you to be in front of people. So, all credit to you for carrying on.
The other thing my wife's got me doing now, I don't know whether you've seen it, skits.
Okay.
We've started skits now. So we did one cooking one where how to cook up on that track.
Okay.
We had a patilla and masala and stuff, but we were putting beats and stuff there. And we did recently we did a dodgy uncle.
Okay.
Yeah, so we played one of the track dog and then we did dodgy uncle. So wife's got me doing all these characters.
It's good, man. You got to try, man. You got to try. The thing is,
It's good fun.
you
It's not me, but my wife thinks I'm good at it. So
you just don't know what's going to work. Again, if you're hearing the song now at weddings called Saddi Bhamrah, that was recorded by me 11 years ago. And 11 years later, it's a viral sensation. Didn't know it was going to happen. Then you've got my kids who are singing Good Morning Pineapple. You just don't know. You know what I mean?
that guy's just
Yeah, you've just got to keep delivering. It'll click. It'll work.
He's,
It'll work at
he's,
some point.
he's really good, isn't he, that guy? Yo?
Yeah. Again, I remember interviewing him in 2014 when I was presenting on Brit Asia. I remember meeting him then, and he was just full of life and energy then. Nothing's really changed,
Yeah.
other than the fact he's got a bit more of a daடி than he had back then.
Yeah.
But again, look how many things he's he's put out, and it just took what 7 seconds of or 17 seconds of something for people to recognize him. And again, it's just
Hey, Dipps, one thing I love about him is he's not isolated to the Asian community. Go there, love it. Go there, singing it. Awesome. It's just amazing.
if it's gonna work, it's gonna work for everyone. So yeah, just keep going, keep doing what you're doing as well. Keep persisting with the music and here as well on the podcast. And yeah, man, it's all good. It's all in a good place.
So guys, that's Dipps. Make sure you follow him. Make sure, and if you're a musician or a singer or if you want to do a passion project, contact Dipps. He's there for you, guys. Was it Hyperlab Studios, isn't it?
Yeah. We're just in Birmingham, yeah.
So make sure you contact him on socials. And the good thing about Dipps, from day one, he's not the type of person who won't answer. He will answer your messages.
Eventually. Eventually.
Well done, because
Eventually.
yeah, but he will answer your messages, guys. So it's not out of reach. So if you please, if you want music done, he's your man. So God bless you guys, and make sure you leave a comment, a review. If it's bad, leave it for me. If it's good, leave it for Dipps. All right.
We're in it together, mate. We're in it together. We're going down together.
Yeah, you never walk alone, mate. Walk alone.
Yeah, that's it.
Anyway, guys, with that, I'm gonna leave you to it. And so look out for the next podcast coming soon. We'll have another amazing guest. So this was Dipps, and God bless you all.